The Ford Puma is factually the nation's favourite compact SUV, but now it's all electric with the new all-electric Ford Puma Gen-E. And you're probably thinking, what are Ford playing at? They've got a compact SUV there that everyone knows and loves. Why add in an electric variant of it? Well, as a matter of fact, I kind of feel like it's not just a new model, but almost an upgrade on the existing Ford Puma, because it has resulted in this rather stylish and zippy compact SUV. It's called the Ford Puma, and in some ways, its characteristics lives up to a big cat. And in this video, I'm going to be taking the Ford Puma Gen-E out on the test drive to see if it's up to scratch, and if it's truly ruined the name of the Ford Puma, or is it actually the EV to get? Starting off, its design and look. Well, it's very similar to the existing Ford Puma. The exterior design doesn't really have too many changes. The main one being the adaptation to that front grille. It's gone away from a regular SUV style front grille, if you will, to something that's rather synonymous to the Mustang Mach-E. It has that body colour all the way across with that contrasting black strip which outlines that Ford badge. Add in them sharp LED headlights and you get a front of a car which somewhat feels like a Puma. It has that rugged look, that sporty edge to it, sharp lines all the way running round, and with alloy wheels coming as standard across the range, the look surely stands out. The interior also, in my eyes, stands out across the compact SUV market because it has all the tech that you need, whilst also feeling a bit premium.
But not for a premium price tag. Since the government introduced the latest EV grant, a base spec Ford Puma Gen-E starts at just over £26,000.
If you look across the UK car market, that's a rather competitive price for a base spec electric SUV, which comes with alloy wheels, cruise control, wireless charging pad, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, built-in nav, digital dash, touchscreen infotainment system, has everything that you need from that base spec.
As for the rest of the range, well, there are 3 trim levels: the Select, Premium and the top spec, the Sound Edition. Now the differences between these 3 specs are merely stylistic and premium features. All will share the same 43 kWh battery, producing 0 to 60 in 8 seconds, 290 Nm of torque and up to 233 miles of electric range.
The infotainment screen is slightly curved into the dashboard, allowing to reduce glare, and with that rather sizable dimension, it's rather practical out on the road. And you've got all your climate controls, which are shortcut underneath. Yes, they're not old school dials, which I would much rather prefer, but you don't have to keep digging through that infotainment system, scrolling through different menus to access your climate controls, all down the bottom. So all user friendly. And then depending on the spec, you can get heated seats, heated steering wheel. Settings for them are also in that climate control panel down below. The fact you get a wireless phone charging pad in that center console from the base spec adds that premium feel for not a premium price tag. As for your digital dash, it almost feels like it belongs in a Volvo XC90 just from the sheer size of it. It's not this little compact screen that just has your traffic sign recognition, your speed, has everything displayed so clearly in that large dimension. You can access your navigation and actually control where you want to go on your built-in sat-nav through that digital dash. You've got your adaptive cruise control settings, your traffic sign recognition, everything that you need to see is in there.
Everything, I feel, is a key word when talking about the Puma Gen-E, because everything you need to have a comfortable, practical, safe and enjoyable driving experience comes as standard. The likes of cruise control, rear view camera, traffic sign recognition, lane keep assist and all modern car tech, along with a charging rate of up to 100 kilowatts, allowing for a recharge time of just 24 minutes. It has that true all-round vehicle feel.
What I do love about the Ford Puma Gen-E is almost the theatrics of the way this electric SUV starts up. Oh, that roar, that purr that comes through that speaker that throws that noise in your face. It is called the Ford Puma, and just features like that almost make it live up to its name. Now, talking of startup, one thing I don't like after all them nice theatrics is the creep mode and the way you start moving in the Ford Puma Gen-E. Because like a lot of electric SUVs and even automatic cars, when you lift your foot off the brake, then it will slowly sort of creep forward like you would with a clutch. But in the Ford Puma Gen-E, it kind of throws you forward almost unexpectedly. And I know it's a Puma, so you kind of expect it to have a bit of zip about it, and especially being North Electric. But it's almost a bit too much of zippiness because, and I'm away. My God, you have to be ever so careful about that. And even when it comes to, you know, if you're reversing into a space and then you take your foot off the brake, kind of throw you back, and it's a lot quicker reversing than what you might be expected. So just be wary of that. As for the actual driving experience, well, it does all feel fairly controlled. Now, I will like to point out the steering wheel feels massive for the actual dimensions of this car. It's a compact SUV, but this steering wheel feels like it belongs in a Ford Transit, not a Ford Puma. It kind of takes a little bit of getting used to. I mean, I can see why the top of it is so large. It means you can actually, you know, clearly see everything on that digital dash without the steering wheel blocking your view. But it does feel almost out of place. I don't think it is out of place, but it kind of feels it, if you get what I mean, if you get my jib. But ultimately, that just allows for a lot more control when you're out on the road. It's not the largest SUV out on the market, it's far from it. But with that large steering wheel, I feel like the turning circle, which actually is only 10.5 meters, almost feels less than that, just because you feel like you can control so much more of the car and the way it maneuvers the roads. If we were to just do a 3-point turn, then the actual turning circle is rather practical. But I do feel like that creep when you ease off the brake is a little bit too sharp for my liking. I feel like a lot of people will need to get used to that, because if you are doing a 3-point turn because you've gone the wrong way down the housing street as shown, you lift your foot off the brake and you almost like fly back, and you've got to be really careful when actually maneuvering. But apart from that, the actual driving experience, the way it pulls off the line is pretty fun. The way it takes on corners feels controlled, and it almost glides into them corners and provides a sport-like driving experience. It's not a sporty SUV almost in any sense. It has a few sporty accents on the interior and exterior, but it's certainly not a sport-like performance, not particularly less than 8 seconds. But the way it kind of handles on the roads gives that bit of edge, and I like that.
What I also really like is the way in which this compact SUV utilises its space. Despite having pretty similar dimensions to its market rivals in the Hyundai Kona Electric and Vauxhall Mokka, it almost blows them out the water when it comes to boot capacity, housing up to 523 litres as well as a 43 litre frunk, all without compromising on space or comfort for rear passengers, showing that the Puma Gen-E might just be the compact electric SUV to choose. Practicality meets sleek and premium. It feels there isn't really much to dislike with this all-new EV. And if you want to try one for yourself, then you can book your test drive today at your nearest Perry's Ford dealership.